Hello, friends. Welcome to day 2 of the 4-day marketing masterclass. Thanks for being with me again. Today, we're going to look at the differences between traditional marketing and modern marketing and talk a little bit about which one works best for photographers and why. But first, let's just quickly recap what you learned yesterday. So, yesterday, you learned that marketing is just a fancy word for communication, and that as photographers, we communicate in two primary ways. We communicate with our work and with our words. Then you identified which one of those you need the most help with. Now, as you'll recall, there are signs in your business that will help give you insight around this. And you learned that if the work part of your marketing strategy needs a little help, you tend to attract clients who ask you to recreate other people's work, right? You're getting Pinterest boards full of other people's work or screenshots of other people's Instagram, things like that. You also may be attracting price shoppers. If the work part of your marketing needs help, you often feel like your clients are running the show, and then you're just kind of doing everything you can to keep them happy. As a result, you often feel nervous about sending out your photo galleries. Now, if the words part of your marketing strategy needs a little help, you're probably not ranking well on search engines like Google, and most likely you have low engagement on your socials. If the words part of your marketing needs help, chances are you also get ghosted way too often, and that is no fun. Super sorry about that. And or you attract high maintenance clients. Now, I ended the lesson yesterday by letting you know that if you are experiencing either one of those marketing problems, or maybe even both, first of all, that's really common. And it's probably because you're using an outdated form of marketing or outdated marketing techniques. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to really get into traditional marketing versus modern marketing. And I have a lot to share. So let's just start. Okay, we're going to start with traditional marketing because traditional marketing is what most of us know and most of us think of when we hear the word marketing. And when I'm talking about traditional marketing, I am talking about that traditional marketing funnel. Okay, so with the traditional marketing funnel, I'm just going to explain how it works really quick. The top of the funnel is designed to get people's attention. This is where we attract potential clients. And we do this by creating content. So for photographers, this attract piece most often has to do with your photos. From there, once you get their attention, then the goal is to pull them into the funnel. We want them to reach out, to make some sort of contact with us, to connect with us in some way, usually by like email or a phone call. And then once they've made contact in that way, then we start working on convincing them that we are the right photographer for them. And this is where we kind of get into our sales pitch, right? Where we share about pricing and how to book and hopefully schedule them. And we make that sale. So, with the traditional marketing funnel, that final sale is the goal, which is why so many people confuse marketing with sales. Now, when you're using this model, literally everything you do, some from the photos that you share and you create to the words that you write on your website, on your blog, on social media, to the way even that you communicate to clients either over the phone or in an email, or maybe even talk about your business, when you're out in the world. Everything you do is focused with that final sale in mind, right? That is the end goal. Sounds good, right? We're in business. Don't we want to be making sales? Yes, we want to be making sales, but the traditional model, that traditional funnel is not great. And I'm going to tell you why. So, anytime you're making any kind of marketing content, there's always a who, what, and where involved. So, the who is speaking or who is being spoken to, then what are we speaking about? And then finally, where is that information being shared? And with the traditional marketing funnel, because the sale is the focus, the sale is the goal of everything we're doing, the who is usually from the point of view of the photographer. So it's from our perspective. And because it's from our perspective, then the what tends to be about what we think is important or what we think is vital to making the sale. You with me? So you'll see photographers talking about their services, their session experience, what's included in their packages when they're writing their sales copy. This also leads to photographers showing tons of different styles of work on their website and in their portfolios and on their socials. So, the thought being that you want clients to see everything that you're capable of doing, that sort of thing. So they might show like tons of different kinds of work, like weddings and dogs and portraits and babies and real estate. So, like that's what I was doing at the beginning of my career. Anything that they think will help them book clients and make money. And or they'll show like different styles. So different point of views, but also images that look like they've been edited differently. So some are warm, some are cool, some are saturated, and you really get the impression that the photographer is editing each session, specifically depending on the shoot and the location, whatever. Now, because the goal of the marketing funnel is to get people to reach out, right? That's part of the funnels. We want them to connect to us so we can get them in an email or get them on a call. The real juicy what content, like price and like how you get booked, that kind of stuff, tends to be hidden with traditional marketing. And again, it's hidden like intentionally, right? So that you can get clients to connect with you in some way and go into your sales pitch, and then hopefully they book. That's the whole funnel. And I just want to be crystal clear. Traditional marketing like this, marketing funnels work. They totally work. There's a reason why they've been around since the dawn of time. But they require a ton of effort on your part. So, first of all, with traditional marketing, we need to be constantly creating new content for that top of the funnel. And that's why you'll hear marketing advice like, you have to post to Instagram every day, right? You have to be showing your work every day. You have to be top of the funnel all the time. But then traditional marketing also requires a lot of your time in the middle part of the funnel because we require people to connect with us to find out pricing information or to ask questions or to book. You need to be checking your email all the time. You need to be responding to your email all the time, taking work calls. So you're constantly interacting with your clients. And because the whole point of having them reach out to us like that is so that we can get them on an email or get them on a phone call and then go into our sales pitch. With the traditional marketing model, it turns your first interaction with potential clients into a sales call. And that is no fun. And again, is why people confuse marketing with sales. Now, that's the best case scenario. So, what I just described, that's if your funnel is working. And the reality is, a lot of times they don't, because quite frankly, the marketing funnel is an outdated model that really doesn't work all that well in our industry. It can feel aggressive to our clients and it leads to burnout for photographers because it requires so much work to maintain. So, that is why, with the modern marketing method that I believe in, and that I teach, we scrap the traditional sales funnel and we build something called a flywheel instead. So let me explain what a flywheel is and how it works. So the flywheel is a client-centered approach to marketing that once created feeds and runs itself. So you don't have to be constantly creating content to get it going, okay? Now, because the flywheel is client-centered, the who, what, and where change. So the who of our marketing shifts from our perspective to our client's perspective. And that means that the what also changes. So instead of us talking about our packages and our service and how good we are and anything that we think is important to making a sale, we instead create content that our clients are actually concerned about and our clients actually care about because we're focused on connecting with our clients by using our marketing to answer their questions, alleviate their worries, educate them about what we do. The where changes too. So we're sharing that client centered content literally everywhere. So on our website, on our social, on our blog, and I'm talking even the really juicy content like pricing. Okay. Now, if you're when you're using your marketing channels to create this kind of client-centered content, a lot of wonderful things happen. There's a lot of benefits to it. So first of all, it frees up your time. You are no longer babysitting your inbox. You're no longer taking a ton of client calls. And that is great, okay? Because you're using your marketing channels to create this client-centered information, your marketing also does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. My marketing content is nurturing my clients. It's onboarding my clients. and it's answering all of their questions and even making sales. So the marketing content I'm creating is doing all that work that I would otherwise be doing in my emails or on sales call, which means that when people reach out, they're reaching out because they're wanting to get on the books. Okay. You're not going to be getting people asking you a million questions and then ghosting. That does not happen when you're using the flywheel approach. Now, client centered marketing works because people want to be seen and understood. And think about this as a consumer yourself. You want to feel like the brands that you are working with have your best interest in mind, right? That they're not just out there to make a quick buck or a quick sale. That's what people that's human nature. People want to feel that way. And that's one of the reasons why this modern marketing approach works. It positions you as an expert at what you do. It turns your marketing into a resource. And that means that your marketing starts working to establish relationships with your clients before you ever actually meet them. That builds trust. And again, people want to do business with brands that they like, know, and trust. Okay. So those are all the reasons why this approach to marketing work. But it's not the only reason. And this is why I get really excited about this. So when you're creating client-centered content that connects to people, people are going to engage with it. So that means that they're going to read your website and your blog. They're going to like, comment, and share on your social media posts. They're going to open your emails. And the algorithms that, rule over our digital lives love that kind of engagement. And so the content you're creating then gets pushed to the front of the line where more people can see it and more people can engage with it. And this creates a snowball effect. It just starts feeding itself. It will grow your SEO. It boosts your social media rankings, your open email rates go up, and it increases your visibility. And then again, more people see it because now you're coming up on page one of Google. More people see it because you're showing up in their Instagram feed. More people engage with it. And the more people engage with it, the more it gets seen. And it just feeds itself. So, this is how you create a marketing machine that runs on autopilot. And let me give you an example of how this works in real life. So, my studio website is full of client centered content. The entire site is just information that I know my clients are concerned about. My blog is really good, high quality content that I know my people have questions about or worry about. And this cute little family came in for newborn portraits. And at this session, I always ask my clients, how did you find me? How did you choose me? And this sweet gentleman told me that they chose my studio because my website was so full of helpful content. And then he said, well, I could just tell that you really knew what you were doing. He said, I felt like I could trust you. But then he went on to say that there was one blog post in particular that really made this sale. Like they were leaning towards me. They felt like I knew what I was doing. It looked like I was an expert. I had all this great information. He was like, but then I saw this blog post and it was like, oh, yeah. We're going to book her. And the blog post was this one, a blog post on how to prepare for your newborn session. And you guys, I wrote this post in 2019. So a post that I wrote 6 years ago is still ranking on page one of Google and still working at bringing in paying clients. And that, my friend, is the power of the flywheel. With the flywheel, you can create content, and 6 years later, it's still building momentum and still working for you. So, question is, how do you get started creating this kind of content? Well, best thing to do is like brainstorm, frequently asked questions, common concerns, things like that that your clients have. And I advise the clients that I mentor or the photographers that I mentor inside of my certification program to go back and look through emails. Think about conversations that you've had with clients. What are the questions that you get all the time? What are the things that they worry about? What do they want to know about you and your business to make sure that they're a good fit, and brainstorm all those things and write them down. The other thing is to brainstorm important information that you know about your business and how you work, but that maybe your clients don't, but they really should if they're going to be happy with you. All of that can be turned into client centered content on your website, on your blog, and in social media captions. Now, I teach the clients that I coach inside of Standard Cone certification how to do this in all areas. So we go deep into websites and we talk about what are the essential website pages that you need. what kind of information you put on each page. We talk about social media, but we dive really deep into blogging as well. And I know there's probably a collective moan. I know that photographers hate blogging, but strategic blogging really is the quickest, easiest way to grow your SEO. And strong SEO gets you way more bang for your marketing buck. So, really, friends, you want to prioritize your SEO over social media. Unpopular opinion, maybe, but I will die on this hill because I know that it is true. But what I want to say to you right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed about this, is that you can use a reduce, reuse, recycle method once you get this content creation going, because I am all about working smarter, not harder. So that means, reuse the blog content, reuse the content that you're putting on your blog for your email newsletters. Reuse that blog content for your Instagram captions. You can absolutely do that. Reuse the exact same copy that you've had, good luck with and on one Instagram post. Use it in other Instagram posts. Just change posts, other Instagram posts. Just change out the pictures. Nobody's going to know. I do this all the time. And I promise you, nobody is going to be like, wait a minute, you said the exact same thing with a different picture 6 months ago. That's not going to happen. So do this. Make it a little easier for yourself. I recommend keeping a Google Doc or using your notes app or something like that to keep a list of content-centered ideas. And then you can use that list for inspiration as you go throughout the year. So that is your assignment today. All right. Make a list. Think about this. Look through old emails. Think about questions that you had from clients and ask yourself, how can I use this information to create client-centered content? Okay. And now that you know the difference between traditional and modern marketing, it really is time to explore some of the mindset blocks that might be popping up, even as I'm talking right now, that keep so many photographers stuck. So I will see you tomorrow, and I can't wait to talk about that. Bye.